You ever see the flies? Sometimes you get them in the kitchen, and those flies will always bang their face right against the window over and over and over again. Even though sometimes you'll open the next window over for the fly, hoping they'll figure it out, but then you look over at the fly and it's just they're still smashing his head against the window. And there could be a door open, there could be other windows open. The fly could escape, but it just keeps smashing itself face first against the window until you find it dead. Now, humans are like that as well. See, that's what self-sabotage is really all about. It's about doing things that don't make sense over and over again when there's an escape route just to the right or just to the left or a little modification, and the person says, no, I'm just going to keep doing this thing, smashing my face against the window until I die. So people are generally like that, and that's because they don't understand the programming that they have. And this is sort of common. Let's take a lady who just broke up with her boyfriend. Now, usually, often, that lady will say, if it didn't work out for the better, maybe she recognizes there's some patterns, and she says, I'll never, ever date a guy like that ever again. And then she'll even gather her friends around and say, if I ever date a guy like that again, you girl, she'll start outsourcing her responsibility to her friends. You girls let me know if I'm that stupid again. And sure enough, 3 or 4 weeks later, here comes Phyllis introducing her new boyfriend to all her friends, and her friends are doing the owl face. Like, it's the same guy, just with a different name, exactly the same. And then Phyllis will be like, what? What? Oh, no, he's different. And then, 6 to 8 months later, she can't believe she's dating the same guy again. That's the fly smashing his face or her face against the glass over and over and over again, because they don't understand the basics of psychology. The basics of psychology would place a very good wager that the man she's dating, this guy, has the characteristics of either her dad, most likely her dad, but some other characteristics of her mom as well. Even though the guy would be a guy, you could definitely find the characteristics of the mother in there somewhere. So it's familiar. The guy somehow is familiar to her in the sense that she knows subconsciously that when she brings this guy home to what's called her family tribe, he has very similar characteristics. He will be accepted, he will fit in, and they will congratulate her for bringing a like mind into the tribal circle. It's pretty good. I mean, it's a good way to design a nervous system, unless your dad was an unemployed drinker smoker who sat on the couch with his hands down his pants all day, and then you're going to go out and find a mate similar to that in many ways. So self-sabotage is all about the programs that don't work in our lives. We keep reapplying them over and over again, because even though in the face of adversity, it's pretty obvious that they do not work. And that's because it's very hard in our society to get the truth about our behavior. The truth about our behavior is purposely hidden from us. It's purposely hidden from us because our behavior operates more like a cut healing, or your hair growing, or a female's menstrual cycle. You don't have a say. And the average person, this is going to shock them, is their behavior operates more in that category than someone sort of making up their behavior on their own based on their own whims that they've developed on their own. Our behavior is proven 93 to 97% of the time to be derived from the repetitive content that we see and absorb and hear in our environment. And there's a part of our neurological system that wants to repeat the most repetitive content of our environment in order to fit in and be well adjusted and be accepted and be liked, because the part of our nervous system I'm talking about assumes that the most repetitive content of our environment reflects what the bigger herd is doing, thinking, or saying. And if you do think and say what the bigger herd is doing, thinking, and saying, there's a good chance you'll be safer. And just like a cut healing, this internal mechanisms, they're all there to keep us safe. The cut healing's there to keep us safe. Our eyes blinking when a splinter flies toward our eye, it's all unconscious. We don't tell our eye to close. It closes before we even know there's a splinter in the air. And our behavior is the same way. It's derived, it's manufactured before we even know what's going on. And basically, if your environment is coded in negative repetitive content, especially in childhood, you are most likely going to be chasing and mimicking and mirroring and emulating that repetitive content, even though it throws you right off a cliff. Now, if you find any of this interesting, get on my private email list, like I tell at every video, and I'll teach you the next 4 to 6 weeks. I'm really going to be focusing on teaching people about mind control, brainwashing, behavior modification. So get on my private email list. Email me at info@jchristoff.com. That's just the single initial J. Christoff is Christ with an OFF on the end. So email me, I'll get you on my private email list. I'll slow drip you free information over time. I promise it'll make your life better. This is Jason Christoff, signing off from gorgeous Latvia.